All right, guys, quick round at Rob Simmons. I throw a neg 5. Hole 1 is 204 feet. I'm throwing with some other talented throwers. That's Braden Neff. He's 15. He threw neg 12. I'm also playing with Emmett and my buddy Dylan as well, who's sponsored by Finish Line. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, I just want to go straight at it.
All right, so check this out. We usually take 2 off the first tee. Everybody had great shots. Mine rolled down the hill, so I had a long putt. I didn't follow through, so I ended up missing it. I went ahead and took a par on this hole. Everybody else took a birdie.
There you go.
Oh, my grass course is only.
All right, so hole 2 is 393 feet. The sign says that it's 275 feet. As you can see, Braden Neff got a nice rip. All these guys throw way further than me, but that's okay. I'll just try to shoot for par.
Oh, come out of go.
That would have been the dog.
I think it's deeper where the, that's deeper where the dog was.
I gotta teach me the secret, man. I gotta get that thing out there so far.
Play a lot. What's your step?
No, it'll die. There's like a little problem.
Dylan went ahead and got a good rip. Normally these guys can park it. I can't throw that far, but I went ahead and gave it a good rip. I think I threw this throw about 310 feet, which is not bad for me just because I'm a beginner, but it was still good enough. Now we're going to work on our up shots to try to get a par. I'm going with the backhand touch with the mid-range with the MVP matrix. I don't like really to use putters for my upshot, and that was pretty good. All right, so one thing that I learned to do is go ahead and do like a pre-putt or like a pre-throw for your steps or whatever, just to make sure that your follow-through is good. As you can see, Braden Neff did it, but he did miss his putt, and I kind of do the same thing. But I did kind of hesitate, but I still ended up making this putt. All right, so hole 3 is 207 feet. I'm using my Ace disc, the MVP Matrix Neutron plastic. I absolutely love this disc. I can park a lot of shots and make really good up shots with it. Everybody else had pretty good shots. I think Dylan ended up being the only one that ended up going out of bounds, but I think he was able to make up that with the par save, just because he went out of bounds so close to the basket. Emmett ended up missing that putt. Dylan went ahead and made his par save, and I'm doing my follow through again and finishing it up with my putt for the birdie. Hole 4, 418 feet. Let's get it. My rip was a little nose up, but I still got some good distance out of it. Braden Neff ended up going OB. He throws pretty far, but he just didn't put it out wide enough. Following up with Dylan's shot. Dylan ended up going OB as well. Again, it's really good to put it out in the fairway. And Emmett ended up releasing kind of early, going OB as well. So it's time to do my upshot with my MVP Matrix. I released kind of early. I should have released it to the right of the basket so it can kind of fade back, but I didn't. Everyone had some pretty good upshots toward the basket, enough to get in range to make the shot. I went ahead and lined myself up, and I made a pretty good putt for par. Everybody went ahead and finished. Now hole 5 is 272 feet. on the elevated basket. Went ahead and made a great shot and actually parked it. I'm pretty happy with this shot.
Sit.
Now, let me just say that this was a very difficult shot just because we didn't want to hit the kids. The guy literally took his kids and set them up in front of us on purpose so we couldn't throw. I went to go try and talk to the guy and try to reason with him, but he was still being rude about it. Some of the people in the community are just rude. We're always respectful and let people know when we're about to throw, and we try to wait, but some of them literally come in front of us on purpose.
See that? It almost bounced off mine.
So yeah, anyways, I ended up finishing this hole with another birdie, which I'm pretty happy about. This is usually a difficult hole for me, but I was pretty happy with it. Long miss by Dylan, but he goes to finish it up with a par. Hole 6 is 263 feet. This can be a difficult shot because you have OB right behind the basket with less than a foot. Emmett got a good rip, almost aced it. Braden got a good rip, came pretty close to acing it, and then I almost come close to acing it as well. But the OB is right behind, so I was a little nervous about my shot. Dylan normally gets really good shots on this hole. He was short on this one, but it doesn't matter for him because he can make pretty long putts. So I normally let the people behind me putt first, but it was getting dark. We just tried to get our putts out the way. Everybody ended up taking birdies on this hole, so it was great shooting by everyone. The next hole is hole 7. It's 367 feet. I was pretty happy with my throw. I just wanted it to be closer to the basket, but it was safe.
Did that ace the other basket?
Invisible ace.
There used to be a basket there, but they moved it. Braden got a really good rip. He got some really good distance on his throw and ended up parking it. So Dylan ended up taking his shot, but he fell short by hitting a tree, but he did fall in bounds. Emmett with the great upshot and landing right in front of the basket, coming from OB. And then I ended up taking a long putt, high hyzer putt, and almost made it, but I landed right in front of the basket, which I'm totally fine with. And then Braden now with his birdie putt, which was a pretty nice putt for the birdie. I ended up taking a par on this particular hole. Hole 8 is 357 feet. Braden ended up getting a nice rip once again to go ahead and park it. This is a very difficult shot for me. I normally don't make a good throw on this hole, but I actually got a really good rip. This is probably one of the best rips I ever got on this particular hole, and I was pretty happy with it.
Probably one of my furthest rips on this hole.
Emmett with another great rip. He completely parked this shot. I thought it was a great shot. Followed up with Dylan. Another great rip. He ended up parking it as well.
Star frame. Come on, hyzer.
Skip in.
Great throw.
Really good shot. Now I'm going to follow up with my birdie putt. I ended up missing this putt. I got to spit out. I was pretty disappointed, but you know it happens. I was still kind of rushing because it was getting dark and we had a bunch of holes left. But you know, it is what it is. A par frame is really good on this particular hole, and you live and you learn. Got to move on. Hole 9 is 362 feet. It's a pretty difficult shot, but you got to shoot right of the light pole to make Mando. Pretty easy to go OB left, right, or behind. Braden went ahead and got a beautiful rip to the basket, parking it. Everybody else made some great shots as well. All right, so now I'm going for my birdie putt. Unfortunately, I didn't put enough behind it. I ended up falling short, but it was still a good attempt. I am happy with a par frame on this hole. This is a hole that I usually take a 5, sometimes a 6 on, so I was pretty happy with it in general. Everybody else shot pretty well on this hole. Guys, we didn't get to finish out the video simply because it got way too dark, so I hope you enjoyed it. All right, guys, so here are the final scores. I ended up finishing with neg 5, which is my personal best. Braden with neg 12, Dylan with even, and Emmett with +4. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Just throw it disc golf. And remember, if you're new to disc golf, pick up a disc, don't stress, and just throw it.